Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm in my swing studio, and what I'm going to be filming today's video on is how to create a distance control method with your wedges. This is something that's really vital that you see all elite golfers have, and amateurs would really benefit from having this. It really doesn't take that long to learn. You just need a method in place and a way of recording those distances. So I'm going to talk you through a few different options that you've got. So I carry 3 wedges in my bag. I carry a 47-degree pitching wedge, I carry a 52-degree gap wedge, and I've got here my 58-degree. We want to try and keep sort of 4 to 6 degree increments between our wedges. So we either need 3 or 4. We're not going to go too much onto that today, but we either need 3 or 4 wedges. Just having a traditional 2 wedge system, pitching wedge and sand wedge, really isn't enough. You need to think about the loft gaps between them. What I'm going to be showing you, as I said, is how to control how far the ball goes. And it's starting to learn this. So I do this for a lot of my pupils. We learn how far they hit their wedges from different swing lengths, and then we chart them. I make a chart for them, I laminate that sheet, and they either have in their back pocket, in their scorecard holder, or maybe just hanging off their golf bag. And it's a reference point, so they would use their GPS device, whatever that might be, to learn how far away the flag is, and then they'd go to their distance sheet, and that's telling them what swing length to make with what wedge. The confidence that gives you is fantastic. You know, standing there and kind of eyeballing distances isn't great. But even if you know the distance, if you then don't know what swing you have to put on it or what wedge you should be using to hit it that distance, or it's very rough, I think it's roughly this, it's just too wishy-washy and we just don't get great results. So there's a few different methods. I tend to teach and prefer body height. So what I personally go with is 5 swing lengths. So what I'm doing with my 5 swing lengths is I've got a knee height, which is where the club does not pass my knee height. There is no wrist action whatsoever. So it feels very much like a chip and run, but I'm playing it from very central in my stance. So knee height is the club does not pass my knees. There is no wrist action whatsoever. So it's almost the shortest swing I feel comfortable making. A pocket height swing for me is where the club is parallel to the ground and the end of the grip points at my right pocket on my trail leg. You can see the club there is parallel to the ground. If you're working on swing positions, which is another method, that would be P2, okay, where the club is first parallel to the ground here. So that's my second position. My first was knee height, club not passing knees, no wrist action. My second swing length is pocket height, so when the club points at my pocket, the club is parallel to the ground. My third one is hands at hip height, so my hip bone on my trail leg here, my hands at hip height. I'm not worried in terms of how much wrist cock we've got at that position, whether it's 90 degrees or a little less than that. It doesn't worry me too much, but we're looking for around hip height in terms of the swing. My next one is chest height, so it's when my hands get to about nipple height on my chest. So we're looking at around here, just underneath shoulder. And then I've got full. So that gives me 5 swing lengths. Now the only thing to mention is I want to keep the setup position the same. So I want every one of those to be center of my stance, under my sternum, and my handle of the club is pretty level. I'm not pushing my hands forwards because that is going to be de-lofting the golf club and also lowering the bounce of the golf club where we start to get that leading edge lower than the trail edge and the club is going to be digging. We really want to use the loft, use the bounce correctly. So I'm playing all of these, as I said, very central under my sternum with my handle more level. You may go a little bit wider as you make a longer swing. That's absolutely fine. That's not going to affect anything. The last thing I want to say is however far you go back, I always want you to go through at least as long or longer. So what I tend to go for is if I'm going for knee height back, I'll try and go pocket height through. If I go pocket height back, I'll try and go hip height through. If I go hip height back, I'll try and go chest height through and full. And the reason for that is I always want there to be a longer follow through, so there is acceleration. You never want to be decelerating. The worst wedge players I see are guys and ladies who swing back too long and then try and quit on it, try and stop. So we see a long backswing and a very short follow through where they've really stopped the club by creating pressure, tension, almost slamming on the brakes. And that's very hard to control. Distance, strike, direction, everything really. That's my method. That's what I work for. I will show you a picture in this as well. It'll be coming up on the screen of my wedge chart. And I'm going to go ahead and try and hit each of these for you so you can get an idea roughly on how far I'm hitting them, and hopefully I'll be able to call those out before I hit them and get it there or thereabouts. There are other methods. As I said, you could work on positions. So really quickly, if we could quickly go on to those, it'd be a P2 position here where the club is parallel to the ground. P3 is the left arm parallel to the ground, and then we've got P4 at the top of the backswing. That's fine, but again, the only reason I don't use it is there's less swing length in there, so there's less distances you can hit it. I've got 3 wedges, 5 swing lengths, I've got 15 distances I know I hit the ball. Other people, Phil Mickelson, works with, or has always worked with, Dave Peltz, and they've worked on a clock face position, which you may well have heard about before. So they imagine your lead arm is the hour timer. So we've got 12 noon up here, 6 down here. So your left arm is the hour timer. So we end up with sort of a 7:30 position, a 9 o'clock position where the left arm's pretty much parallel to the ground, and sort of a chest height or pretty close to full is around a 10:30 position with the lead arm. Again, you can go down that route. It depends on how many wedges you've got, how many swing lengths you're really looking for. I like the body height positions because it means I can fit in 5 swing lengths. I've got 3 wedges, as I said, that gives me 15 yardages, which really covers me for anywhere between 15, 20 yards up to 125 yards. So I've got a real range of distances. I know I hit it. That's enough talking. Let me try and get on to each of these swing lengths that I work to. I'm going to let you guys see the ball flight as well, so I'm just going to click on the screen. So my first one is knee height. So if I have a quick rehearsal of that, no wrist action whatsoever. My follow through may be a little longer. Everything very central. This is my 15 to 20 yarder. Just flew a couple of yards, so I normally expect that to be flying closer to 15 yards. It flew 17. Let's go on to the next one, which is going to be a pocket height. So the club parallel to the ground. And I want to go a little longer through. This is generally my 25-yard shot. There we go, so it flew to 20, finished 25, 26 yards. It rounded it down actually to 25. So I normally work on my knee being 20, my pocket being 25. I'm just going to go on to my hip height swing, which is my 40-yard shot. So my hands at hip height. The club is starting to point up in the air because there is wrist cock wind. This one, you see the setup position is the same. I'm just going to rehearse the swing length I'm looking for. Hands at hip bone. There we go, so it flew 35, finished at 40. Let's go for the last 2. So I've got chest height, which is my hands at chest height, at nipple height here. My left arm, lead arm is pretty much parallel to the ground. And this is my 60-yard shot. Landed at 61. I don't think it would actually release that much on a green. It's saying it's released out to 69, but landing at 61, I really find this is within my 65-yard distance. And then full, which I'll go on to hit, but this one for me, flat out, is 85 yards. So let me just go ahead and hit one last one at full. There we go, so landed just about 80 yards, 78, finished by 84 yards. So I've got 5 swing lengths with 1 wedge, and then I've got 2 other wedges as well. So it means I get great control of the distances I know I hit the golf ball. It's great if you can get on a system like this GC2 or a TrackMan. If not, just get out in the practice area, hit 5 balls, get rid of the longest and the shortest, take the average. If you can, leave your golf bag where you're hitting from. If you've got a laser, go out and laser back to your bag. If not, you're going to have to pace it out there. But jot down your distances, start to create a system where you know how far you hit the golf ball. It's really going to give you superior control to all your playing partners out on the golf course. If you did enjoy the content of this video, give us a thumbs up. Do make sure you subscribe to the channel for free. All the other content is every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.